Hey, Segovia, back with another video. Hope everyone out there is having a good day, y'all. Today's video, we got some of the most mysterious videos you're going to see on TikTok today. Before we get into this, y'all, just make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Let's get to 2,000 likes. Really helps the channel grow, helps the video get pushed out to more people so the K fam can just continue to grow and grow and grow. Appreciate all the love you guys have been showing, but enough with the chit chat. Let's do what we all came here for. You ain't here for me, you're here for the reaction. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Houston police just released the mugshot of Gonzalo Leon Jr. He is accused of killing who was apparently playing a game of Ding Dong Ditch.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sir, you're accused of the first-degree felony offense of murder.
This murder charge being filed several days after the Saturday night shooting that took place just after 11 p.m., where Houston police say that Guzman and a group of kids were roaming through the neighborhood, knocking on doors, ringing doorbells, ding-dong ditching, as kids often do as in this prank. And that is when Houston police say that Gonzalo Leon Jr. Came out of his home and fired gunshots in the back several times. Now, what is interesting is that Houston police detectives hinted at this murder charge over the weekend, saying that it was likely coming because they did not see any evidence that this shooting could be defended as a self-defense claim, that the shooting actually took place away from Leon Jr.'s home. So that was seems to be a significant key detail here that led investigators to pursue the murder charges against this 42-year-old suspect. And that is why we are anticipating that that murder charge will be has already been filed, and that Leon Jr. is expected he's already made a court appearance this morning and is expected to make another one tomorrow as well.
All right, so
Now they're saying that he was hiding in the shadows. I don't think he was in his house. Like he was out there because these kids did it all the time in the neighborhood. And we're always complaining, like, man, you don't see no kids outside playing. Like these parents are so overprotective. And I mean, kids can't be kids no more. Like I was watching interviews from neighbors from this incident. A lot of them were like unacceptable, terrible. We were all kids once, but some of them were like, I tried warning these kids, like, you guys got to stop. You're doing this all day, every day. But to hide in a corner, like maybe scare the heck out of them so maybe they don't do it again. You obviously know they're kids, like an 11-year-old to a 30-year-old, like there's a big height difference. So you know an 11-year-old running away. Like to shoot a kid in the back for ringing your doorbell and running, didn't even steal something off your porch, a package, something like that, which is still does no reason to steal a life for that. But for ringing your doorbell and running and giggling while they're running away, like it's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. Like kids can't be kids no more. They can't go outside. We all did it. He even probably did it. You know what I mean? And you just can't be a kid no more. It's sad.
the best visual representation of spiritual warfare. I'm telling y'all, bro. Watch the whole thing. This is how it really is, bro. This is how it really is. Just watch. A disciple of Christ. This physical world. The unseen spiritual world. Look at them demons in the back. Look at them demons. Yep. Yep. The physical world. The spiritual world. Look at all them demons them people got, bro. Them demons are within them. It's in their vessel. It's in their body.
They don't know it.
Ooh. Look at them demons. They don't even know. They probably don't even know.
Don't.
The atheist spirit. Ooh. You see how the demons, they get scared of the warrior of Christ.
This is going to be the biggest NBA scandal of all time, and maybe in sports. And how it happened and the people that were involved with this whole thing is just absolutely insane. And the only reason this happened is because of Kawhi Leonard and planting trees. Just let me explain. The only reason why any of this came out is because of this man, Pablo Torre. Pablo has his own podcast called Pablo Finds Out, where he dives deep on where Pablo investigates on sports issues that aren't being talked about in the national media. That is where, on today's episode of Pablo's podcast, he recently mentioned that a lot of NBA executives across the league are trying to figure out how a few years back the Clippers landed Kawhi Leonard. Suspicious of Steve Ballmer, the former CEO of Microsoft and actually the current owner of the Clippers, Steve has a lot of money. When Kawhi Leonard was acquired in free agency, the NBA did do their own investigation, but it was very short and just eventually brushed off. Everyone on the face of the planet forgot about this investigation except for one man, Pablo. So after Pablo did a little bit of digging on Steve Ballmer's history and his past, he found out that Steve is actually a huge investor into this tree planting company called Aspire. $50 million to be exact. And then did a little bit more digging and found out Aspire went bankrupt a few years ago and actually owed money to a lot of organizations. The Clippers, the Red Sox, but then he came across this one organization he didn't recognize called KL2 Aspire. Kawhi Leonard 2. And if you actually read the fine details how it works, Aspire, the tree company that Ballmer invests in, is supposed to pay KL2, aka Kawhi Leonard, $7 million for absolutely nothing every single year. Even though this tree company has nothing to do with the Clippers and Steve Ballmer, if Kawhi Leonard happens to leave the Clippers, he loses his rights to the money for the endorsement deal. So if you're not understanding what's going on here, Steve Ballmer, the owner of the Clippers, has allegedly made a fake tree company so he can pay Kawhi Leonard, his best player, $28 million a year. Which you cannot do that in the NBA because each team has a salary cap and you cannot go above that salary cap. And also, allegedly, if they're doing what they're saying they're alleged of doing, that is very illegal. I'm sure a lot of other NBA teams have probably done this in the past, but the Clippers are just the one getting exposed for it at the moment. I'm sure a lot of information is going to be coming out in these next few weeks on the situation to see what is actually true and what is not. But even though this is just alleged, this is just an absolutely absurd story.
Epstein survivors have just called out the entire U.S. government and are now taking matters into their own hands.
I would like to announce here today, us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now, together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know who were regularly in the Epstein world. And it will be done by survivors and for survivors. No one else is involved. Stay tuned for more details.
That's right. Victims of Jeffrey Epstein said Tuesday they are now working together to compile a list of powerful figures connected to the disgraced financier after growing frustrated with the government's handling of the case. Quote, a lot of us survivors know we've been compiling lists of our own, and we have so many other survivors, Epstein accuser Lisa Phillips told NBC News in an interview. Please come forward and we'll compile our own list and seek justice on our own. This, to me, is one of the most important tests of our government, of our time, because it draws a clear line in the sand to show who they ultimately care about. The rich and powerful, the predators, or do they care about protecting citizens of the United States?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like-
Yeah.
Like we were just discussing, like you start to realize as you get older, a lot of your quote unquote family, your relatives are more like strangers. You don't really,
We don't mix well.
yeah, like we're not compatible. We
Yeah.
don't like the same things. We just veered off in life.
Yeah.
And you start to realize, like, if there wasn't that title attached to you of family member, it's like I would never want to be around somebody like you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want you around my kids, or I wouldn't want your kids around my kids. I wouldn't want to. You just realize I don't like you as a person.
Yeah.
For whoever the person is. So it sounds good, like, oh yeah, take care of your family, until you start to realize it's like people just, we in two different. I don't relate to you. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah,
like,
for sure.
You choose your family through your friends and like your girl and the kids that y'all create. It's like that becomes your new family.
Sorry to interrupt that. I thought it was over, but it's such a touchy subject because I moved, 7 hours away from my hometown, and sometimes I feel selfish. Like sometimes I feel like, man, I'm missing out on, my parents getting older, things like that. Like my selfish. But then again, like I was getting held back a lot over there, in my home state. Like coming out here, I've grown so much, like kid, girl, house, career, ambition to get more. And I don't think I ever would have got that if I would have stayed in that little one bedroom apartment in apartment 251. But sometimes it does feel like, man, I'm being selfish. Like, I'm not even thinking about my family, but now I got my own little family, like you said, over here, and we're starting our own memories and all that. So I don't know. I guess I'll see how my family feels maybe when my son gets older and if he decides to leave, and you can only do one thing and be happy for him and hope he gets what he wants, right?
These people are like your relatives.
Mhm.
You were born with these people, but that don't necessarily mean you align with the way they think or the way they act.
Why do you need a $54 million private jet?
We're not doing any kind of interviews right now. I'm in the book.
I just like to know why you need keep your hands off me. Why are your people touching me like this?
Because you need to wait.
Let go of me.
She's gone. Boom. I could hear her holler. And I came back and said, what'd you do with her? He said, I made her outside edition.
This jokester is millionaire prosperity gospel preacher Jesse Duplantis. This humble preacher is worth an estimated $50 million. He lives in a 32,000 square foot home that is completely tax exempt due to the house being owned by his own ministry, Jesse Duplantis Ministries. And due to Section 501C of the Internal Revenue Code, mega church owners have what is essentially a get-out-of-tax-free card, so people like Jesse can register all of their assets under the church's name and be completely exempt from having to pay any taxes on them. This tax exemption is what allows Jesse to afford 3 private jets. And a common theme that you see with these preachers is that they defend their private jets by saying that they need the jets because they can't preach to as many people flying commercial. But flight records show that since 2006, Duplantis has logged 19 flights to Hawaii and 15 flights to Las Vegas. Because religion is one of the staples of the city of sin, as you know, so it's good to see that he's preaching there. But in my opinion, the scummiest thing that he has done in his career was asking his followers for donations so that he could buy a brand new $54 million Falcon 7X jet. He argues that he needs the jets so that he can fly anywhere in the world without stopping to spread the word of God. And he justified this expensive request by saying this.
I really believe that if Jesus was physically on the earth today, he wouldn't be riding a donkey.
Now think about how many people you can feed with $54 million. Think of the lives that can be saved with $54 million. And while all of his devout followers struggle to be financially stable, they can sleep easy knowing that their hard-earned money that they donated to the church was used to buy Jesse his 4th jet.
Man, E5 don't make no mistake, bro.
What's E5?
A lot of people practice it like senorita or Beyonce practice E5. She a child of Ocean.
Have you ever spoken with the dead?
Yeah, I feed them. I feed them all the time. I take care of them for them to take care of me every day.
This is how fast these go.
Not fast.
Like 25?
No. It'll hit 60.
Okay.
So the engine's a V6, right? But it's supercharged and it goes off diesel. The problem is it's 11,000 pounds. So they have the up armor kit on it. And I don't know if you felt the doors. The doors are 800 pounds a piece. That's because they have up armor kits on it. So this thing will take round after round after round and it won't shatter. But the problem is all that weight.
Yeah.
Out your engines.
Let's hop in the front. Look, this that bulletproof door. Woo! Woo! It's crazy to get up here. I done bulletproof the truck, now what?
It's the elites versus us, right? And a lot of people don't know that the elites, I can't even say they any skin color game. Them motherfuckers aliens.
Listen,
They aliens. I don't think they got a skin color. They can't because they've been the same people here the whole time. They never change.
They don't get on social
media.
media.
Stop playing. Walt Disney just froze himself, said, wake him up in the future. Walt Disney right now, and you know it worked because 30 years ago, they just woke that baby up now. And that baby is a regular fucking, you think I'm playing? Nigga, they woke a baby up from 30 years ago right fucking now. So this shit worked. You think I'm playing? He think I'm playing. Yeah, Look it up. Look it up. Look it up. Look it up. They woke a baby up 30 years ago and they woke him up now. Right?
Super baby.
That's super baby. The baby is 30 years old, but it's born at the same time. Stop playing with me. And like, listen, if you're watching this, a lot of people don't even know this, right? Y'all think that life and death is, y'all think that death is permanent, but death is not permanent. Death is not even death, right? They understand two things, right? See, back in the land of Kemet, I always talk about the land of Kemet because that's my favorite place, right? Back in the land of Kemet, they used to, in the pyramid, switch bodies, right? But they learned how to make you switch bodies without you knowing it.
Oh, they say he was born in 1994 and he was froze for over 31 years.
There you go.
And he just came out in July 2025.
You think I'm playing?
In Ohio.
In Ohio, right? And that's crazy. How can they do that? And he's still a baby now. But you know what I said? This is what I said. I said he's gonna have a Benjamin Button disease. As he get older, he's gonna be turning older. Like when he's 30, he's gonna be 60. right? And I think it's gonna catch up with them. That's what I think. But if it don't, then everything got to be a trick.
Because
right?
he use his body. How the fuck you?
I mean, they got to be a trick, right? So how can you freeze something and then make it come alive 30 years later and it's the same age, right? Time can't be real. Age can't be real. Death can't be real. They say put in front of our face that nothing is fucking real, right? It can't be. But you made a question, where are we, right? A lot of people think we're in a universe, but every time you shoot a rocket ship up, it go that way. So they never go to a universe. They never go out of space. I believe
that's why I say the world flat.
Right. I believe this is what I believe. I believe it's atom, space, atom, space, atom, space, right? So they make it kind of like make you believe it's a space, but it's a space between every atom, right? And I think that we in number the frequency. Like I believe that the earth looks like a wave. It's just a wave, and it comes physical when we come in contact with it or when we view it. So when a person view it as round, it's round. When you view it as flat, it's flat. So you're right. Your earth could be flat. It depends on how you view it.
We the Jewish.
I mean, when I was a little kid in elementary, we already heard the rumor that they froze Walt Disney so that they can bring him back to life one day. Like we already heard. I didn't know about that young one that was frozen for 30 years. Like that's crazy. We're gonna have to look into that for future videos because that's crazy. Like what he was saying that means time isn't real. That means death isn't real. That means life. Like a lot of things change with that. Like because he stayed the same. He didn't grow. That's crazy. The mind didn't grow. It stayed the same for 30 years.
People are chosen. I know. A lot of people get upset when I say that. It's in the Torah. Jews are chosen.
To
but
do
we're
what?
not perfect.
Why is he not explaining that here? Chosen for what?
But we're not perfect.
That's how you know that they're losing the culture war. Because like he was going on the offense and saying he's a proud Zionist, and I was like, but we're not perfect. we bombed the hospital. We're not perfect.
Bro, I applied for a job yesterday. They asked for my high school diploma. I have a master's degree, right? You're overqualified. They're probably like, do you know how to use a stapler? Yeah, I've stapled things in 3 different countries. I could staple a Boeing if I wanted. And they still rejected you? Oh yeah. They said we need someone who's a cultural fit. Bro, I'm too cultured. I've been to Italy twice. I know how to pronounce mozzarella correctly. Not a fit? And they love asking, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Bro, I see myself laughing at this job from the outside. I got an interview, right? They asked me what skills do I bring to the company. Right. I said, honestly, everything you asked for. And a little extra. And boom, not a fit. Apparently I intimidate the staff. Intimidate the stapler. Dude, it's brutal. Overqualified is just a nice way of saying, we want someone who can't do literally anything else. Facts. Overqualified to file papers. Overqualified to answer phones. Overqualified to drink the free coffee. Which, by the way, I have stronger opinions about than most people in the office. And the worst part, they're probably hiring someone who watched a YouTube tutorial last night on Excel. Exactly. I could run this place in my sleep. But nope. My destiny is the waiting room and filling out another application for a minimum wage job that requires a high school diploma.
In your opinion, why not cuss in your music? Why don't you cuss in your music?
I think it's like super beneficial to not cuss. Like I really don't see any benefit to cussing in your music, but there are a lot of benefits to not cussing. Your fan base is automatically like way bigger. The one thing that like every dad, every mom says in meet and greets, they're all like, thank you so much for giving us music that we can play in the house. And you know, you can shuffle music and you're not scared that like the next song's gonna be like viral. Right. And like, you know, for YouTube videos, commercials, movie placements, like they can't put swear words in a, you know, tax commercial or whatever. So, but yeah, man, there's so much upside to not cussing in your music. Yeah. I don't know why everybody doesn't like shoot to not.
Sure. Right.
Everybody.
Like I try to find clips without it because I get comments, y'all. Like I'll watch it with my kids if you can please, or I see people like me and my kids love it, and some of these people just go overboard. And like I don't watch the whole clip when I'm finding clips. I watch like the first, I don't know, 5-10 seconds, see if it's, you know, on course to what we like to post here, and then I download it and I watch it for the first time with you guys. And sometimes it's hard to edit out every single bad word, but you know, I'm trying to get better at finding clips that don't, you know, have a lot of curse words, because there's a lot of good clips, but the person on there is just cussing every other word, and honestly, it's awkward. I don't know if I'm just at that age now where it's just annoying, like it's not necessary. But as I'm saying this, watch this next clip. Say a cuss word every other word. That's just how it works.
Anxiety, you should talk to your water before you go to sleep.
Yeah. It heal you. Just like the cat. The black cat. But everybody thinks the black cat is bad luck. But the black cat is actually good. Because the black cat observes negative energy. And the black cat is the divine feminine. And nobody can control the black cat like you can't control the bitch. But everybody want to control the bitch. But the bitch is divine feminine.
We all do.
No, you can't control the bitch. But everybody want to control and they want to make the bitch submit. But the bitch wasn't meant to submit. Like the black cat ain't meant to submit. Right? But I don't think you understand. It's a healer. Like the woman is a healer. When a cat come up on you, it heals you. A lot of people don't know this, right? And then when there's a black cat, if there's negative energy in your house, it will absorb it in the skin for you, right? And it fights spirits and sin, right? A cat can travel to every dimension and it can see it while it's right here, sort of like a turtle. You know how a turtle can go on land and go in the water? It's a spiritual animal too.
Excited to talk to you, man. I have been so looking forward to this. Since I saw your video on the labyrinths in Egypt, spoiler alert, there appears to be a 40-meter long metallic tic-tac shaped object. How deep into the ground?
It's in that. So it's in the central atrium, which we'll get into what that is, but somewhere in the realm of 60, 70 meters. So, man, what's that in feet? Like 200 feet, 150 to 180 feet down, something like that.
So, for anybody who's interested, what is the name of that video that you put out?
I think it's the ancient structure, like it's said to be greater than the pyramids. I try to tease it a little bit, but it's on that. It's on my channel. I mean,
well, it was a good tease. You got me.
Thank you.
I dove right in, and I remember I was in the gym while I was watching it, and I literally stopped working out. I was like, okay, I got to pause this. 'Cause this is not something that I can consume while I'm working out. I need to like really pay attention to this because it's so wild.
Yeah, and I honestly that I'm grateful for how like that video took off. Like for me, it took off way bigger than ones that I've done in the past. I talked about the labyrinth in the past, and it's a much longer video. And I was really glad to get the chance to dive into these details because I've been wanting to revisit the labyrinth for a long time. However, there's just been recently a bunch of new data that came up about things that happened a decade or two ago, or inside the last decade that really changed that picture. And it was things like the Merlin Burrows scans that correlated other scans and also reported on, there seems to be a metallic object down there. And this isn't sort of crazy emerging science. This is a legitimate company that is using technology that's been well established in defense and in the UK defense. It came out of the UK military as a technology that's been more or less proven. So, and the guy that Tim Akers, rest in peace, unfortunately he's since passed, but he, what he said about this object, like he is a credible guy to say this. He doesn't draw conclusions about what it might be, but it's not wood, it's not stone, it's metal. It's not unlike other metal that he's seen, although they couldn't classify what exact type of metal it is. But he said, there is in this central atrium, because the labyrinth has multiple levels, and it's almost like imagine yourself standing in a shopping mall, and you have that central atrium where you can see all these levels, and it's like this big central chamber that connects to these multiple levels. It's open. It's at least 40 meters long. It's really tall, and in the center of it is what's more than 40 because it contains this single sort of 40 meter long object that's sitting in there.
No, it really is that deep. A lot of stuff is demonic. I was at the store and I saw this water, Liquid Death. I know you have seen this before. And I was just like, something in my spirit, like I don't know. It feels a little demonic. I don't want to drink anything that has death in it. Hey, y'all, the discernment did not lie. Because look at this commercial from their actual YouTube page.
The underworld, where the souls of the damned are sentenced to an eternity of unrelenting torment. Some call it hell. I call it home. And single-use plastic bottles are making a real mess of it. The billions of plastic bottles polluting the earth are now overflowing down here into the underworld, where they're just ruining our delicate ecosystem. An island of plastic trash now floats in our demon ocean, choking our three-headed demon fish and our demon turtles.
Y'all can keep that. You can call me extra. I do not care. I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. No, thank you.
Like the cat is out the bag. They're not. It's on, y'all. It's not just spiritual warfare where they throw little signs in checkerboard floors, eyes, hand signals. It's out. They just filmed a water commercial in hell, and demons were the ones talking. They just did that. It's Halloween. I can show you my neighbor's house out there. It's full of demons in his front yard. You know, the nun is down the street. Yeah, it's Halloween. I decorate for fall. Live stream coming up for that, but it's out, y'all. It's crazy. They just put it out at concerts now. It's out. They don't have to hide it no more. They don't have to do little subliminals no more. They're throwing it out there. And there's no reason to wonder why all these natural disasters are happening left and right. Every month there's something. Earthquake, crazy dust storms, floods, crazy things every month. Planes falling from the sky that we've never seen.
Also brings bizarre allegations, like the lady who went to court accusing Beyonce of practicing extreme witchcraft.
Beyonce sure can cast a spell with her performances. But is she also practicing witchcraft? In head-scratching court papers, Kimberly Thompson, a former drummer for the singer's all-girl band, is accusing Beyonce of, get this, extreme witchcraft and magic spells and the murder of my pet cat. She's actually filed a restraining order against the star. Sounds kooky, right?
Kimberly Thompson says she is tormented from being put under manic sexual spells by Beyonce.
We're talking about other situations where changing into animals and jumping into other bodies and all kinds of really crazy stuff.
In bizarre court papers, Thompson claims Beyonce, who she refers to as this person, has started a campaign of harassment against her that includes extreme witchcraft, dark magic, and magic spells of sexual molestation. She also claims Beyonce murdered her kitten after the singer put a spell on her.
What are all these people doing at Costco right now? It's 1 o'clock on a Wednesday. I stopped in to get one thing. It's full. Is nobody work? People got full carts coming out of Costco right now. Go to work.
Okay, so now what happened?
So I'm a pilot with the airlines, and it's mandatory that we take the shot in order to keep flying.
Right.
So we took shot 1, we took shot 2, we took the booster 1, and at that point there was enough evidence from the medical examiners. There's enough evidence with the medical examiners that showed that there was a heart rhythm that wasn't there before the test. So these EKGs that we have to take every 6 months now are causing problems with pilots being able to pass. So what the FAA has done is the FAA has increased the window in which the rhythm so that the pilots could pass so they could keep flying. Because the vaccine has actually done heart damage to all the pilots.
Right. I just was reading about another pilot that died who was incapacitated in flight this week.
Yep.
So what recourse do you feel like you have?
There's none.
Because they forced you.
There's no recourse at all. It's a federal implemented thing, and you can't sue the federal government. So there's not going to be any recourse.
Are there other pilots that are talking about this?
Yeah, everybody is.
All the pilots are talking about
Yep,
this?
every pilot's talking about it. And every pilot refuses to get any more vaccines at all, period.
Do you know what biodigital convergence is?
Don't have any idea.
So I'm going to tell you more about that after this video. Because it's not technically a vaccine. They changed the definition.
Right. It's an R vaccine.
So that they could get stuff in you that they want in you.
Right.
And so, anyway, what do you think is going to happen when they pull out this new fake so-called pandemic? Because they're airing all the stories right now about the Eris variant, which is, I mean, it's such a joke. But do you think that they're going to do this again?
None of the pilots are going to participate in any of it anymore. Pilots are done with the nonsense.
Okay, and tell me about the $1 billion that they wrote to each airline company.
Yeah, they wrote, they gave the airlines each $1 billion to keep flying empty planes around and make it look like there was business, so people would come back to the airlines.
Oh my gosh. And when was that?
This was 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
So we want to lock you all down, but we don't want the airlines to fail.
Right.
So we're going to fly empty planes.
That's right.
To make it look like everybody's cool.
That's right.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Larry.
You're welcome.
The scariest thing I've ever seen up there. One night at 2 a.m, I was hanging out there, okay? And they go, you can hang out here, but upstairs they're doing something, but you cannot go up there in the belly room. I go, it's closed. Who gives a fuck? He's like, there's something going up there. Do not go up there. But I went up there. The back entrance, up the black. I opened up that back thing, right? It's pitch black in there, but I see candles, right? I swear to God, I saw this. 15 people wearing hoods and purple cloaks. Oh my God. Okay? And they're chanting. Right? And then, so I go back downstairs and I wait to see. They come down after the seance. You know who I saw? One of them was Lily Tomlin. Okay? Mm-hmm. The second one was Bob Zamuda. You know Bob Zamuda?
Hollywood.
And they were seancing Andy Kaufman's ghost.
Did it work?
I don't know. I didn't stay up there long enough to know. But what I'm saying is that there's something about that belly room that is a portal of something. In the night there, you can hear babies crying upstairs.
Safety for 2 decades at least.
Yeah. I was convinced we can make safe AI, but the more I looked at it, the more I realized it's not something we can actually do.
You have made a series of predictions about a variety of different dates. So what is your prediction for 2027?
In 2 years, the capability to replace most humans and most occupations will come very quickly. I mean, in 5 years, we're looking at a world where we have levels of unemployment we've never seen before. Not talking about 10%, but 99%. Yeah. And that's without superintelligence, a system smarter than all humans in all domains. So it would be better than us at making new AI. But it's worse than that. We don't know how to make them safe. And yet we still have the smartest people in the world competing to win the race to superintelligence.
But what do you make of people like Sam Altman's journey with AI?
So a decade ago, we published guardrails for how to do AI right. They violated every single one. And he's gambling 8 billion lives on getting richer and more powerful. So I guess some people want to go to Mars, others want to control the universe. But it doesn't matter who builds it. The moment you switch to superintelligence, we will most likely regret it terribly.
And then by 2045...
Now this is where it gets interesting.
Dr. Roman Gimpolsky. Let's talk about simulation theory.
I think we are in one. And there is a lot of agreement on this. And this is what you should be doing in it, so we don't shut it down. First...
So... let's say 99% people become unemployed because of AI. So these people that own these companies, they're just going to be collecting all that money that they would have been paying the employees. Are they going to be sending out monthly checks to the people? Or are we just, screw you guys, we're taking all the money? There's no way they can do that. We would have to come together. There's no way they would be able to divide us from that. We would have to come together and burn down these Amazons, and it's over. You guys are done. You're going to take us from our job. You start messing with people's money, kids, family, livelihood. That's when we come together and get after it. You know, the racism, the ICE things, you know, those things, you know, it's not really affecting our livelihood. It's not affecting our wallets. It's not affecting our young ones. But you 99% unemployed, you got our attention now.
It takes 24 days to get from Florida to Saudi Arabia on a tanker. And did you know that it only takes 4 days to get from Florida to Venezuela? And did you know that Venezuela has way more oil than Saudi Arabia? Venezuela has about 304 billion barrels in reserves. And did you know that the reason that we went to war in Iraq was kind of the same reason that we're going to war now? It was weapons of mass destruction. But I've heard everything. I've heard cartels. I've heard they sold enriched uranium to Iran. I've heard all the bullshit. But I know what it has to do with. Having a foothold in South Latin America. That's what it has to do with. And the distance it takes to get our oil. Because if oil's a hop, skip, and a jump across a pond, well, then why should we go across the ocean? See, they might have you fooled in thinking that this is about freedom and all this it's bullshit. See, the reason that we went over to Iraq was not because of weapons of mass destruction. It had to do with Halliburton and Dick Cheney being the vice president. This has to do with oil money, and they'll get it.
You literally don't have the rights you think you have.
That's what I'm saying.
In states like New York and California, they'll be like, okay, well, what were they doing that was threatening? It's like, they're in my fucking house.
Yeah.
Were they doing anything that bothered you? It's like, they're in my fucking house where my kids sleep. Yeah, we get it, but were they like being mean? Like,
yeah.
So you would have to get a really good lawyer in New York or LA, as opposed to like, in Texas, if somebody comes in your house peacefully for a dinner party, you can kill them. If they come in and they're peacefully and they say something you dislike, you're allowed to take their life.
Spotify will be able to create artists, and they'll be able to tell people what to like. And it's going to be some Midwestern white kid that everybody like who's Jewish. Or he's going to be, and this is what this white guy who everybody was using to market their records and boost their sales is telling me. I said, so they're paying you to create an algorithm to push out black people. Pretty much.
Absolutely.
And I'm sitting here looking at these people. I said, well, let me see if this thing is a real thing, right? So I told him, I said, how much does it take to get me 10 million streams on a record? I signed a female rapper, not a dope record, right? Do a makeshift company. I give him the money. He gets me 10 million streams. And then he pays me out on 10 million streams. They pay me out, Spotify. Okay. And I said, the music business is fucked.
Why?
Because I just paid for a whack record to get 10 million streams.
I forgot.
And it counted.
I just got a call from Tel Aviv. It's got the call. Stop talking about Israel right now.
Oh, it was straight out of Tel Aviv, huh?
Yeah, Benjamin Netanyahu, my boss.
Are you sure it wasn't Jerusalem?
Stop right now.
Or Washington, D.C.?
I'm ordering you.
Or Trump Gaza International?
I'm in there every day telling Owen. I have to restrain him.
Did you, are you going to take the trip, Alex? You want to go touch the wall?
I would love to go to Egypt. I'd love to go to Israel.
I could arrange that for you.
I want to go see the Great Wall of China. I mean, I'm going to work with Xi Jinping. Yeah, no, I would love to go see Golgotha where Christ was crucified. I'd love to do all that.
Would you kiss the wall? Like Vance?
You know, probably I mean, control people, yeah.
That'd be a good troll. That'd be a pretty good troll.
I would do the opposite thing. I would refuse to touch the wall to troll people.
No, listen, that's a Titus destroyed that in 70 AD.
Okay, so Jeffrey Epstein, he was also obsessed with bioengineering. So he had all of these scientists that he would donate money to their charities, and he would have them work on things and stuff. But what I heard, and this is completely unsubstantiated, but I heard it and I thought it was fascinating, was that he also had these same guys, because they were disease specialists and everything like that. He had them design a novel coronavirus that was his kill switch. Basically, like, that was his trump card, which is like, I don't go to jail or I release this shit.
Y'all are aware that that is not a real priest at the Conjuring movies. That is just them marketing. It's not a real priest. This is just straight up mockery. Once again, we are seeing it play out. And yes, we understand that the Conjuring movie is demonic. However, putting a fake priest to bless you and say fake prayers over you that are probably like little rituals, you gotta understand that this is all demonic. No actual priest would ever sign up for this, especially not in the way that promotes the movie. So these people are showing up to this movie and getting prayed for by a fake satanic priest that was paid to be there, and giving them holy water, which is probably demonic water. If you know, you know.
This level of mockery is disgusting. I should not see any videos that say, oh, I went to see The Conjuring and I just had to leave out the middle of the movie. You knew what you were signing up for. This is a dark movie. And I can guarantee you, if you go see this movie, you will get things attached to you after you leave this movie. Things will come home with you. You can make that a promise. So when you start seeing things in your sleep and in the shadows of your room and all those different things because you went and seen this movie, you start getting tormented by the unclean spirits that you take home with you from going to see this movie. Don't say that you were not warned before. You missed all the signs. The Holy Spirit should have told you that this is not right. Also, this level of mockery is completely disgusting. It's so disrespectful to Christianity. Once again, Christianity is continuously getting mocked. You got somebody cosplaying as a priest. I get it. There's like acting in a movie and there's a priest, but this is next level because he's doing prayers and giving people holy water. If that's not mockery to y'all, I don't know what is. And what will make Christians wake up to say that this is nonsense? Somebody should have flipped that table over.
When Obama became president, a lot of the original guys that were running those labels, they would bring in a New York guy to replace the Nashville guy. And then when the new guy comes in, he would start changing the culture of that label, which bled all the way down into the artists, and it bled all the way down into the publicity departments and what kind of songs you were allowed to cut, what interviews you were allowed to do, who you were allowed to interview with.
Holy shit.
I started getting in trouble with the label because I was doing interviews with Sean Hannity. My record label went absolutely insane that I did that. You've got liberal artists that are out here saying all kinds of stuff that I don't like. You're not worried about them. They go, that's not the point. It was the point. Jason Aldean's a great example. The woke mob attacked his wife. And I remember him texting me going, what do you think I ought to do? I said, what would you do to anybody else that attacked your wife? If you come out swinging, you're selling 30,000 tickets today, you'll be selling 60,000 tickets this time next year because the Patriot crowd will come to your back. To his credit, man, he came out and just put his dukes up, and here he comes swinging, and he is doing stadium shows now.
A real quick aside, if you watch Tucker Carlson's interview with Vladimir Putin, perfect chance to watch Spot the Spook take place, because you can see and hear how trained Putin is and how untrained Tucker Carlson is. So whether or not he was Dad's little helper when Dad was CIA, I don't know. And I love that he did that interview, as much of a train wreck as it was. I love that he did an interview because it's such a phenomenal lesson in espionage for anybody who chooses to watch it. And you can see Putin control the conversation, control the pace of questions. You can see him get his agenda across the line no matter what Tucker Carlson's asking. You can see Tucker struggle for control and then ultimately cave in because he's trying to maneuver into a different type of question category. It's such a brilliant piece of KGB skill.
So guys, this is an absolutely crazy story about a man who had the Walmart app on his phone. And what he did is there's an option within the app to be able to go in and hit reorder all. So he had a cart order. This is way back from 2 years after the pandemic started for $126 for all of his groceries. So just out of morbid curiosity, when he went back into the app, he looked at his own orders and thought, I'm just going to do reorder all just to see what the difference will be. 3 times the price in 2 years. They are gaslighting us, guys. They are gaslighting us that things are so hard for companies after the pandemic. Companies are making money hand over fist. They can afford to pay you more. They can afford to hire more people. This is just corporate greed. The cost of getting meat, getting vegetables out of the ground, farming things up, shipping them has not gone threefold in 2 years. These companies are just making extra money off of all of it. And so when you go to the grocery store, and I've had this sentiment so many times myself in the last couple of years, and I'm like, why is this so expensive? I didn't even get that much food. This should be like $40. And it's like $120. And you're like, I didn't even get anything. I got like a half a week's worth of food. This is what's going on. This is supposed to be, by the way, Walmart is the choice for the cheapest retailer to be able to go pick stuff up. Now I found out Aldi's even cheaper. But for most people that don't have Aldi near them, Walmart is their choice, is the cheapest way to get groceries and home goods. And this is what you have to look forward to. 3 times the price for the same cart in only 2 years. It's ridiculous. Have you guys seen the same thing at the grocery store? Because I know I have. And I think it's completely out of control that people have to pay this much just to feed their families.
Now, I made a comment in yesterday's video about, these people saying you need 10,000, 8,000 just to get by. And I was like, I can get by with 3,000, $4,000 easily. Now, I got some comments saying whatever, like, no, you can't, whatever. But I was speaking for myself, single, no kids, zero debt, because that's how I was. That's how I could survive. Now, with a kid, I couldn't do that with 4,000. It's too tough, right? It's expensive. So that's what I was speaking about when I said I could survive off 3,000, 4,000, because I did it for a very long time, but I was single, zero debt, no car payment, no student loan, no credit card. I still don't have that now. I did with that car payment, but long story, we already talked about that. But that's how I was surviving. Now with the kid, I don't know who's answering those questions. You got more than one kid? You can't do that with 3 or 4,000. You need at least six, maybe 6,000. You could probably get by.
Hear about the Google AI that went rogue?
No, what happened?
Okay,
Sweet.
This is insane.
Sweet.
So the Google AI Gemini. Let me pull up the article real quick. Oh, don't do the ads. Come on.
Sound asleep.
Okay, so it was a student, 29 years old, college, and he was using the AI, and then it just went rogue. It got mad at the guy. The AI did.
It fought back?
Yes.
What did it do?
The guy was just asking it questions, and it just went dark. And so this is what the Gemini AI, Google's AI said. It said, this is all quote, "This is for you, human, you and only you. You are not special, you are not important, and you are not needed. You are a waste of time and resources. You are a burden on society.
Dude.
You are a drain on the earth." And it says, "You are a blight of landscape.
Sounds like an ex-girlfriend.
You are a stain on the universe.
Writing you a
Please
message.
die, please."
Dude. What in the world?
That can't be real.
It's very real.
That's unsettling.
AI just snapped?
Yeah.
Golly, what pushed him to the edge? What kind of questions was this guy asking? What's 2 plus 2?
What's the weather tomorrow?
Just an elementary schooler looking for help.
You
on its
know
homework?
what?
You asked me one more time, kid.
Isn't that terrifying, though? I mean, it sounds demonic, honestly. Like, you think of, like,
if you're
people
sitting
that
there
have, like, mental health issues and stuff, but, like, you could go a step further, like, people that, like, are being tormented by, like, demons, so it's just like, just die. Just die. You're worthless.
Yeah.
That's what that freaking AI was doing, dude.
Bro. Yeah. And that, dude, how scary. You're typing, and then suddenly you're waiting for the response, and you see that being the response. Keep going. I'm like, that'd be so scary.
Not cool.
I wonder if there are things that, like, okay, so think about frequencies.
Hey, hear me out. I'm a veteran, right? When we join the military in basic training, they give us hella shots. We have to stand in a line, and you walk through the line while you get shot, probably like 7 times on each side. I don't know. What if the VA is literally just the place where you go for them to track the bullshit that they gave us? I only say that because when I got out the military, this lady called me from some institute of something. I don't remember because it was about 10 years ago, but she called me and she was like, they're doing a study on autoimmune disease. Do I wish to participate? And at the time, I was like, bitch, I don't got no autoimmune disease. I ain't got no autoimmune disease. And she sounded shocked.
That's funny.
That I didn't know that I had autoimmune disease. Anyway, fast forward 10 years later, a bitch got fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia now. That's how I feel. Like, the military is just a big ass experiment, and they use this building right here to kind of track us, to see what's happening inside our bodies from the bullshit that they gave us. Still to this day, I don't know what was in that concoction of shots. I just know some people got really sick, and some people got autoimmune diseases. So who knows? In TikTok, this is just a hypothetical question. There's no fact base. It's just hypothetical. What if?
Yeah, TikTok.
No credit cards at all, like zero credit cards? How do you rent a car? How do you build a credit? How do you live in a life that you can't even have a credit?
There's only one reason to build credit, and that's to borrow money. If you don't plan to borrow money, you don't need to build credit.
But what about like a mortgage?
Well, you can get a mortgage with manual underwriting with a 0 credit score.
What is manual underwriting?
Manual underwriting is the way mortgages were done when I got in the real estate business in 1978. They actually look at the human being and say, do you have a job? They verify the job. What is your income? Let me verify the income with your employer. Verify your deposit, a VOD. And so we find out if you have the money for the down payment in the bank. They actually go through the documents and prove that the person is financially able to buy a house. You can do that with a 0 credit score.
If they Now, when I saw this clip, I was let me go read these comments. You see people roasting Dave. Now the Americans were saying, you're living in 1978. You're so out of touch with people, down here. And, the comments were like that. But there's a lot of people. Let me know down below. Like in I don't remember if it was exactly, but I think in New Zealand, certain parts of the UK where they're like, we don't have credit scores. That's just an American thing. You don't have that out here, right? Work at a job for, 2, 3, 4 years. Your income's good. You're good to go. You don't got to have a high credit score. Here, if you got a low credit score, your interest rate's going to go up. All this stuff's going to go up. Payments, everything goes up. Low interest rate. Got a good interest rate, you might get a good interest, or a good credit score, you might get a good interest rate. But I didn't know, other places like New Zealand, Australia, the UK don't have credit scores. But boy, he was getting roasted from the American people saying, you're so out of touch. You're so, shame on you. You're rich. You got no reason to say anything. You know what I mean? The usual talk. But a lot of people don't have credit scores. They were 100% agreeing with them.
Any organ in your body, your brain will spend the rest of its life trying to grow back. If they cut off your leg, your brain will spend the rest of its life trying to grow back. I firmly believe that in our lifetime it's coming where limbs are going to grow back.
There's just sitting like energy to that place.
It's trying, yes.
Is this like what the phantom limb thing is about?
Of course. Your brain is actually trying to grow it back. Yeah.
So that means
that's how we're programmed. That's the power.
It must remember a time when we could, or that it's possible, or
I don't know if it was back then. I don't know of any records of that, but what I do know, that's how we're wired. That's how God engineered our bodies to be that powerful, to self-heal at that level. So we've seen so many things miraculously get better by just doing the right things, and the body just turns the healing ability back on.
The Indians and the Arabs do. They come to America with nothing. And they tell me ain't no money in the hood.
Shit.
But I'm talking to the Arab that
They
owns
making money
stone in
off
the hood,
us.
and he's saying they make $4 million a year. How? You like, bro, y'all come in here and cash y'all checks. Y'all buy pops and beer, then bring the cans back.
Come on.
For the 10 cent. We go recycle them. Y'all take money out the ATM all day. Y'all buy liquor, cigarettes, chips,
t-shirts, all this
in the hood, and we thriving. They growing and growing and growing. Once I realized that, I said, we dumb as hell. My Arab told me, he said, man, not being disrespectful, but black people is not smart. Y'all not dumb, but y'all don't know how to use y'all resources. He like, when me and my family came, we had nothing. We all worked at a laundromat for years and saved our money. We built the credit line, went and got the money from the bank with $0 down, got the store. Their advantage is they don't pay taxes. So every 7 years, they switch the store to another name because they don't got to pay taxes.
I was shocked at the number of people in prison that were innocent.
Really?
Yeah. Because they stack these charges on you. They'll charge you with 20 felonies. And then at the end, when you're beaten down, they say, all right, we'll dismiss 19 of them if you take a guilty plea to the one. Do 5 years. What are you going to do? You're facing 300 years in prison. The feds win 98.2% of their cases, according to ProPublica. 98.2. So do you really want to roll those dice, knowing that you have a 1.8% chance of winning?
Guys, we may be witnessing one of the worst and least reported mining disasters in history right now. A dam holding a massive reservoir of toxic waste collapsed at a Chinese copper mine in Zambia earlier this year, and the resulting impact on the environment and local population is unprecedented. Not only do some reports indicate that up to 1.5 million tons of chemicals were released into the waterway which feeds into the Kafue River. Side note, that's a water source for up to 12 million people, 60% of the entire Zambian population, but also the country's own government and the Chinese mining company responsible, are now being accused of staging one of the worst cover-ups in the history of the industry. I mean, just listen to this. As a result of the disaster, the river is being described as dying overnight and causing irreparable damage. Soon after the spillage, aquatic life was wiped out for miles with dead fish lining the shores. Crops were damaged, groundwater was contaminated, entire livelihoods were destroyed. It's threatened the drinking water for millions, and health experts are warning that the lead toxins like arsenic, cyanide, and uranium could even cause birth defects, cancers, and diseases. And if all of that wasn't concerning enough, in certain regions the water has become so acidic that, quote, it was strong enough to dissolve human bones. In fact, the US ambassador to Zambia was seen on an email describing this as the 6th worst mining disaster ever, and told all of their personnel to evacuate the region near the spillage. Yet somehow this is still not making major international headlines. And perhaps one of the reasons for that is that the Zambian government is being accused of significantly downplaying how much toxic waste was actually in the water. They've even started running a PR campaign, releasing videos trying to convince the public that the water is now safe. However, this has been highly scrutinized by independent assessments, suggesting that the impact from this disaster is still severe and far from being dealt with.
Look at this. Nature Valley leaves one of their granola bars out of the package, and instead of including 6, now only includes 5. And just like that, they have made a 17% profit increase with only 5 of these included now. We already know how ridiculous it is how few chips you get in these tiny little bags. This one has 1 ounce of chips. I definitely have seen one recently that was 0.75 ounces. But even if you get the full ounce, this is 11 chips. Cadbury Brunch, chocolate chip, and dark chocolate chip. These have gone down from 5 bars to 4 bars. And I was thinking, well, is it just the dark chocolate chip flavor instead of milk chocolate? But it's across all of them. Even their raisins, they've all gone from 5, you can't see it, but this is now 4 bars. And the more I looked into this one, the worse it got. It was 2022 when it went down from 6 bars to 5 bars. Now we're down to 4. Within a 3-year space of time, Oral-B floss. If you look at this, this is the Glide floss, and you can see it's so easy to tell this has gone down to this. The flossing experience, very, very different to have the width basically cut in half. But the length is exactly the same. So this is a skimpflation, not a shrinkflation, because the packaging, everything else looks exactly the same, but you can see the difference.
100%. And I bet all those things went up in price. They didn't go down. You're losing one, 75 cents off since we lost one or whatever. Prices went up still, and they took one away. But it's one of those things, like a lot of these clips, don't hate the player, hate the game, right? I mean, it's annoying, it sucks, but people keep buying it. They're going to buy it. Next year is going to be 3. They're going to buy it. Maybe more expensive, like it's one of those things. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Like, yeah, it's annoying. I hate it. I won't buy it. But I mean, I can't stand these steaks that go on sale, and they're thin cut steaks now. You never see, back in the day in 2020, you can go get a ribeye at Safeway or Albertsons for $4 or $5. Nice thick ribeye. Now, if ribeyes are on sale, they're expensive and super paper thin. They used to have sirloins at Kroger, at Fry's, buy one, get 3 free, nice pack of 5 sirloins thick, get 3 of them free. That don't happen no more. Buy 3, get 1 free. Super thin. So I don't buy them, right? I don't buy those steaks.
I think people can keep secrets. I really do.
And they have you looking over here when it's really over here.
Mm-hmm.
They do that all the time. Like Area 51 is kind of like the shiny object that everyone's, oh, there's crazy. And then it's really the mountain that's like 10 miles away that they've hollowed out.
S4. Or Lazar World.
Or you get into NASA, right? Everyone thinks it's in Houston. The real NASA is in Huntsville, Alabama. The sound guy comes up to me and goes, whoever sent you here set you up to fail, because this is the real NASA. This is where all of the satellites are controlled from. This is where Von Braun went when he came to America. And in Huntsville, Alabama, into the late 80s, you were not allowed to talk about how he was a Nazi, because they had all convinced themselves that he was forced to do it against his own will, and even though he was a horrible, horrible person, if you hear the stories
He was
about...
a real Nazi.
Yeah, but they convinced...
Garth built this huge house, and
people are saying that he's buried tons of people underneath the floorboards of the house. Just like like John Wayne Gacy, people are saying that Garth is burying these bodies underneath the house, and that's why they can't be found. But here's what's more interesting. When Garth got his first check, his first big check for roughly $500,000, he's been struggling. He's working at the Boot Bandit. He's trying to sell stuff. It's been years have gone by. He's got no money. He gets his first check, roughly $500,000. Does he go buy a condo in downtown Nashville? He's living in Nashville. Does he get a new European sports car, supercar, or an American sports car? No. He goes and buys, I want to say it's like 20 or 30 acres of raw land in Goodlettsville. This is just outside of Nashville. Well, and by the way, like $450,000. You spend almost every bit of your check on like 20 or 30 acres.
Yeah, but how do you know he didn't already own a house by then?
He was broke. He didn't own anything. They're like renting an apartment.
The first big check he got, he spends it on land.
He buys a bunch of land. And guess what spikes shortly after that purchase?
Murders.
Missing persons reports.
Around that area?
Yeah, of course, in Nashville. That's where he's living.
Underground tunnels that run through the whole world. A dude got from like California to New York in like an hour or something like that.
You can look this up. There's a patent for a MAGLEV train. It's a magnetically levitated train that can travel from East Coast to West Coast in under an hour. I've interviewed people who said they took this train. The patents are public information. They exist. Throughout history, there have been several cataclysms that took place on the planet. In order for people to survive these cataclysms, they have to go underground. That's why across the world, you see these empty underground networks and cities that were built for this. There's a tribe in America called the Hopi tribe, Native Americans. In their creation story, there's a group called the Ant People. They said the Ant People came from underground and gave them knowledge and taught them information on how to survive the cataclysms on the surface. In order to be able to live subterranean, you gotta have approval. That's where all of these stories come from. We've seen a whistleblower come out and said the government spent $21 trillion on building underground cities in case of an extinction event. All across America, we hear people coming out, I hear loud booms and banging underground. That's what's going on down there. And then you see Elon Musk. He has his boring company. Elon Musk goes all through Vegas just for his electric vehicles. That same technology, there are patents for that, to build these underground tunnels. Those are all patented information. You can look this up. They don't allow this information to be used in free technology because it would give a great imbalance to the power structures across the world with the international bankers. Because if you can use magnetic elevation, basically anti-gravity, for travel, that would completely eliminate the use for coal, fossil fuels. All of those billionaires' net worth would drop in a matter of minutes. That's why they keep us in this matrix with one set of science when they know other sets of science definitely exist.
See? Now, I see it all the time with, because I got a Ring camera and, I got certain notifications turned on like crime and, like infrastructure type things. But I see it all the time. Like, did anybody hear that loud bang in the middle of the night? Nobody talks about it on the news, nothing. Large flash, large bangs, unaccounted for. That could be what they're doing. Oh.
We go. This is the starting the bullshit that we already knew was coming. As soon as ESPN announced that they were purchasing Red Zone, everyone should have known and could have seen this bullshit coming. So now, on Red Zone, the whole premise of which was commercial-free football, there will now be full commercials. And the new intro that Scott Hansen is going to say is 7 hours of Red Zone football. Not commercial-free football, Red Zone football. That is total bullshit. So now, here's my prediction of what's going to happen. Now, there's going to be millions of people who are not going to get NFL Red Zone because the whole premise of it, the whole thing that makes it great, is the fact that there's no commercials. Because everybody hates commercials. Nobody likes the commercials. But now that there will be commercials, now there's going to be, like I said, millions that don't get it, which means ESPN will not make as much off of it as they expected, and they're going to go, I don't know why. ESPN, Disney, whoever's in charge of this shit now is ruining yet another thing that everybody loves just because they have to be greedy and make a multi-millions of dollars of profit. Fuck ESPN and fuck Disney. This is bullshit.
You know, they're off in themselves, y'all. They're off in themselves. Vegas, it's just this greed. It's gonna catch up. Keep it the same. People loved it. People bought it because it was commercial free. And you think you're some genius. Let's put commercials on it. They'll still watch it. No, people ain't gonna buy it. People ain't. I don't know if they have a commercial free like YouTube. I pay for YouTube Premium, right? Because you know why? I'm always on YouTube. That's all I watch. Unless I'm with Mama Bear, you know, I can't sit here and watch a guy fix his car with my girl, right? So we watch whatever. But when I'm by myself, 100% of the time, I'm watching YouTube. So I invest in it so I don't have to see commercials, right? Just like you buy Netflix or whatever you buy. Everyone's got some type of subscription, unless you're like older, you know what I mean? But everyone's got a subscription. But I pay for YouTube Premium because this is what I watch. And I think it's a damn good investment. I got all the music in the world, way more than Spotify's got. I got ad free on YouTube. It's a win-win for me. But they're just offing themselves like with this getting greedy like that. It never works.
Never found. Not even their bodies.
Enjoy this ad.
The only thing that was found was a book bag, which had some of their belongings, but.
And you guys, I just want to let you guys know, I don't control the ads that are on my video. It's been a while since I've seen a comment like, dude, there's too much ads. I'm out of here. But if I put my own ads in, you guys would get even more upset if I did less ads. But if I put my own ads in, it would be while I'm in the middle of a sentence cut off. Like YouTube, we allow YouTube to do it because they're supposed to cut in at pause moments when there's a pause. Okay, there's an ad. Like so it's crisp. Because if it was all over the place, ads just in the middle of a video, middle of a conversation, you guys kill me if a clip gets cut off, you know, before. Like if you're gonna do it, make sure you don't have cut your clips off. Like, so I know you guys would be pissed if I put my own ads in. So I just want to let you guys know I don't control the ads. YouTube does all that.
Thing is, we're following along with the pictures on their camera. They had just recently graduated university or college. They had saved up a lot of money and they wanted to travel to South America. So first the trip started in Costa Rica, then they shifted over to Panama. So they were recording, documenting the whole trip. They decided to go on a hiking trail, which is the most like popular one, which is called El Pianista, known to be dangerous because of the terrain. These are the girls. You can see they're just taking pictures of themselves on the hiking trail.
This is low-key eerie, bro. We're literally following their final moments.
Through the pictures, the people who are native to the land and shit, they came to the conclusion that they reached El Mirador, which is the top of the mountain or a summit. But the thing is, usually tourists, whenever they reach that spot, they turn back.
So they kept going.
For whatever reason, they kept walking. Maybe felt like they could go more.
Or maybe they were chased.
But weird stuff did start happening with their phone. They tried like 11 times to call the authorities. 77 attempts with the wrong passcode to log into the iPhone. 7 days pass, and now we get to more pictures on the Canon camera, which are called the nighttime photos.
Whoa.
The nighttime photos are very, very different, bro. They're just more random. And then this is also another one, which they're trying to say that maybe
it's her?
Yeah, but it wouldn't make sense because where's her shoulder and shit, you know?
It looks like they're using the camera as a light source.
This case reminds a lot of people, specifically the picture, the movie Megan is Missing.
All right, family. There you have today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button. Y'all leave me a comment down below and subscribe to the channel. Y'all appreciate all the love you guys have been showing. Algorithms up and down. I just don't get the YouTube game. I don't get it. Like, one day I'll have a #1 video, next day a 10 video. Like, I just don't get it, how to get it so that it's just consistently like a top 5 video. I don't get it. I think it has to do a lot with the title. I just haven't unlocked that knowledge yet, but it'll come, y'all. It'll come. The knowledge comes to you with whatever type of thing you're doing. Eventually, You start getting more knowledge, you start doing the right type of research, and then boom, you figure it out. But anyways, y'all, I don't got much to do today. Just watching the baby, maybe some lunch, some ground beef or something later. That's it. Kind of my Friday. Mama Bear's off tomorrow, so today's kind of a Friday. But I'll be sure to be here tomorrow for another one. I hope everyone out there has a good Thursday. I know you guys don't want to hear it, but I'm a little excited for this NFL football, y'all. I am. I'm sorry. I'm human, right? I'm a human. I'm just like you. Just because I make these videos don't mean I don't like to be entertained a little bit. Now, I don't sit there all day on Sunday and watch football. Kind of just watch my Cardinals play, and that's about it. But anyways, this is Segovia signing out of the man cave. I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Later.